You play by the rules. You try to do the right thing. You consider how your actions affect others. And you watch people who don't care about any of that race past you. They lie, manipulate, cut corners, exploit loopholes. And they win, faster, more often with less effort. And you're left wondering, why does being good feel like a handicap? Why do bad people seem to have an unfair advantage? Here's the answer you don't want to hear, because they do. Morality is friction. Ethics are constraints. Conscience is hesitation. And all of that slows you down. Bad people don't have those constraints. They're not stopping to consider if something is fair. They're not weighing the harm they might cause. They're not paralyzed by guilt or doubt. They see an opportunity and they take it. No hesitation, no second guessing, no moral deliberation, and that makes them faster, not smarter, not more capable, just faster, because they're not carrying the weight that good people carry. This isn't about whether bad people deserve to win. They don't. But deserving has nothing to do with it. The systems we operate in don't reward good behavior. They reward efficiency, speed, and results. And bad people optimize for those things without the moral constraints that slow everyone else down. They exploit gaps. They game systems. They do what works, not what's right, and what works wins. Even when it shouldn't. The moral constraint advantage where ethics become competitive disadvantages. The guilt-free optimization where lack of conscience creates ruthless efficiency. And the system exploit where bad people win because systems reward those who gain them, not those who follow them. Subscribe to that stoic stick because we don't tell you fairness exists. We tell you why it doesn't. Let's talk about why bad people win faster. 1. The moral constraint advantage. Good people operate with constraints. They won't lie, even when lying would help. They won't exploit people, even when exploitation would be profitable. They won't cut corners, even when no one would notice. These aren't weaknesses. These are values. But values are constraints. And constraints slow you down. Bad people don't have those constraints. So while you're deliberating whether something is ethical, they're already doing it. And by the time you've decided it crosses a line, they've already won. Here's the advantage. Bad people aren't slowed by moral deliberation. Every decision you make goes through an ethical filter. Is this fair? Will this hurt someone? Is this the right thing to do? That filter takes time. It creates hesitation. It makes you second guess. Bad people don't have that filter. They see an opportunity and they take it. The decision is instant. No hesitation, no guilt, no internal debate about whether they should. They just do. And speed is a massive competitive advantage in any system where timing matters. Think about business. Two people see an opportunity to exploit a legal loophole. That screws over workers, but increases profit. The good person hesitates. They think about the workers, the impact on families, the ethics of exploitation. They might even pass on the opportunity because it feels wrong. The bad person doesn't hesitate. They see profit and they take it. No moral calculation, no empathy slowing them down. They exploit the loophole, maximize profit, and by the time the good person has finished deliberating, the bad person has already captured the market share or relationships. Someone wants to get ahead socially. The good person builds genuine connections, invests time, earns trust slowly. The bad person manipulates. They lie. They say whatever people want to hear. They fake intimacy. And they climb the social ladder faster because manipulation is more efficient than authenticity. Authenticity requires vulnerability, time, and reciprocity. Manipulation just requires saying the right words. And words are cheap. By the time the good person has built one genuine relationship, the bad person has networked their way into dozens of transactional ones. And in systems that reward quantity over quality, the bad person wins. This is the brutal truth. Morality is expensive. It costs time, energy, and opportunity. Every time you choose not to lie, you lose the advantage lying would have given you. Every time you choose not to exploit, you lose the profit exploitation would have generated. Every time you consider ethics, you lose the speed that ignoring ethics provides. You're playing with a handicap. And bad people aren't. They're optimized for winning, not for being good. And optimization wins. You can argue that long-term morality pays off, that reputation matters, that integrity creates sustainable success. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes it's not, because the long-term assumes consequences catch up, and they often don't. Bad people win, take the reward, and move on before the consequences arrive. And even when consequences do arrive, they've already extracted enough value that the punishment doesn't matter. They won, and you didn't, because you played fair. 2. The guilt-free optimization. Good people carry guilt. Bad people don't, and guilt is heavy. It's a psychological cost that drains energy, creates doubt, and slows decision-making. Every choice a good person makes comes with emotional weight. Did I do the right thing? Did I hurt someone? Should I have done it differently? That weight accumulates. It creates hesitation in future decisions. It makes you second-guess yourself. But bad people don't carry that weight. They do what they do, and they move on. No regret, no guilt. No emotional cost. And that makes them faster, more decisive, and more efficient. Here's the optimization. Bad people don't waste energy on regret. A good person makes a mistake and they ruminate. They replay the situation. They feel bad. They try to make amends. That process takes time and psychological resources. A bad person makes a mistake and they don't care. They don't replay it. They don't feel bad. They just move to the next thing. That's ruthless efficiency. No energy wasted on emotions that don't serve their goals. No time spent managing guilt or repairing relationships they don't value. Just pure forward momentum. Bad people also don't suffer from empathy paralysis. Empathy is a constraint. It forces you to consider other people's feelings, needs, and suffering. And that consideration slows you down. A good person about to make a decision that benefits them but harms others will hesitate. They'll feel the other person's pain. They'll imagine the consequences. They'll try to find a solution that minimizes harm. That's time-consuming. That's cognitively expensive. A bad person doesn't have that problem. They don't feel the other person's pain. Or if they do, they don't care. So the decision is instant. Does this benefit me? Yes, then I'm doing it. No empathy paralysis. No moral hesitation. Just action. Think about layoffs. A good leader agonizes over firing people. They know it will devastate families. They try to find alternatives. They lose sleep over it. They carry the guilt afterward. That's psychologically costly. A bad leader doesn't agonize. They run the numbers. Will firing these people increase profit? Yes, then we're doing it. No emotional labor, no guilt, no sleepless nights. They make the decision and move on. And because they're not slowed by empathy or guilt, they can make ruthless decisions faster and more frequently, which makes them more effective in systems that reward profit over people. Bad people also benefit from lack of conscience. Conscience is an internal monitoring system that punishes you for doing wrong. It creates discomfort when you violate your own values. It's supposed to guide moral behavior, but it's also a tax on efficiency. Every time you do something questionable, your conscience makes you feel bad. That discomfort is supposed to stop you from doing it again, but it also drains you. It creates internal conflict. It makes you question yourself. Bad people either don't have a functioning conscience, or they've learned to ignore it, so they don't suffer that internal tax. They do what benefits them without the psychological cost that would cripple a good person. This is guilt-free optimization. Bad people aren't burdened by regret, empathy, or conscience, so they can act faster, more ruthlessly, and with less psychological cost. They're not better. They're just unburdened. And in a system that rewards speed and decisiveness, being unburdened is a massive advantage. 3. The system exploit. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most systems aren't designed to prevent bad behavior. They're designed to punish it after it's caught. And that gap between action and consequence is where bad people thrive. They understand that rules are deterrents, not barriers, that consequences only matter if you're caught, and that most systems are too slow, too overwhelmed, or too incompetent to catch everyone. So they exploit the gap. They break rules, extract value, and move on before the system catches up. And by the time consequences arrive, if they arrive at all, they've already won. Good people follow rules because they believe in the system. They assume rules exist for good reasons, and that breaking them is wrong, regardless of whether you're caught. Bad people understand rules differently. They see them as cost-benefit calculations. What's the reward for breaking this rule? What's the likelihood I'll get caught? What's the punishment if I am? And if the math works out, if the reward outweighs the risk, they break the rule. No moral hesitation, just calculation. And that calculated risk-taking pays off more often than it should, because most systems have poor enforcement. Think about financial crime, insider trading, tax evasion, fraud. The laws exist. The punishments are severe, but enforcement is inconsistent. Regulators are underfunded. Investigations take years, and by the time someone is caught, they've already made millions. Even if they're fined or imprisoned, they've extracted enough value that the punishment doesn't erase the gain. They won. The system punished them eventually, but they still came out ahead, and they know it. So they keep exploiting, because the system rewards those who exploit it better than those who follow it. Bad people also understand that most systems rely on compliance, not prevention. Take workplace ethics. Companies have policies, codes of conduct, HR departments, but those systems assume people will follow the rules. They're not designed to catch violations proactively. They're designed to respond after someone reports. So bad people exploit that. They harass, manipulate, steal credit, sabotage colleagues, and as long as no one reports it, the system doesn't intervene. They're gaming a system that only works if people voluntarily comply, and they don't. So they win while good people assume the system is protecting them. It's not. The same logic applies everywhere. Politics, academia, social systems. Bad people understand that rules are only as strong as enforcement, and enforcement is weak, inconsistent, overwhelmed. So they push boundaries, they test limits, they exploit loopholes, and when they get away with it, which they usually do, they learn that the system doesn't actually stop bad behavior. It just threatens to, and threats without consistent follow-through are meaningless. Here's the disturbing part. Systems often reward bad actors even when they're caught, because by the time they're caught, they've accumulated power, wealth, or status that insulates them from real consequences. They get a slap on the wrist, a fine they can afford, a temporary setback that doesn't undo the gains, and then they go right back to exploiting, because the system isn't designed to stop them. It's designed to look like it's stopping them while actually enabling them. Bad people win faster because they understand what good people don't, that systems are exploitable. Rules are optional if you're willing to risk consequences, and most of the time there are no consequences, just rewards. So that's why bad people win faster. The moral constraint advantage where ethics slow you down and bad people operate without that friction. The guilt-free optimization where lack of conscience, empathy, and regret creates ruthless efficiency. And the system exploit where bad people understand that rules only work if enforced, and enforcement is weak enough to game. This isn't about whether bad people deserve to win. They don't, but deserving doesn't matter. The systems we live in, business, politics, social hierarchies, don't reward morality. They reward results. And bad people optimize for results without the constraints that good people carry. They lie when lying helps. They exploit when exploitation profits. They break rules when the risk is acceptable. And they do it all without the guilt, hesitation, or moral deliberation that slows everyone else down. You can play fair and hope karma catches up. You can believe that integrity pays off long term, and sometimes it does. But often it doesn't, because bad people extract value and move on before consequences arrive. And even when they're caught, they've already won enough that the punishment doesn't undo the gain. They gamed the system, and the system let them. Maybe the disturbing truth is that good people don't win slower because they're less capable. They win slower because they're playing a different game. Bad people are optimized for speed, efficiency, and exploitation. Good people are optimized for fairness, empathy, and ethics. And in systems that reward the former, the latter is a handicap. Not because it's wrong to be good, but because being good is expensive, and bad people don't pay that cost. If this unsettled you, drop a comment and tell me where you've seen this play out. And subscribe to that Stoic Stick, because we don't lie to you about fairness. Do good people ever catch up? Or do they just finish the race with their integrity intact and nothing else? Maybe winning isn't everything. But if you're not winning, does integrity really matter? Or is it just what you tell yourself to cope with losing? You decide.